Rodrance for Black and White Sports. We got several NBA tidbits, and we're going to cover the most interesting thing last. Number one, 0 positive coronavirus test, Chinese virus test, Wuhan virus test, Kung Flu virus test have come back for the NBA inside their bubble. Also, Adam Silver was on Good Morning America this morning, and they touched a little bit on the Marlins. Of course, they're playing down in a bubble at Walt Disney World, and Silver says the league has plans in place to pause the season and would be willing to call off the remainder of the season if a serious outbreak occurs inside its campus. Now, there was speculation he meant if something that happens to the Marlins happens inside the bubble, I guess, he would cancel the season. I made a video the other day where I flat said the problem with Adam Silver versus other commissioners is Adam Silver is so far up woke Twitter's ass on issues. And look, Twitter is just losing their mind over the Kung Flu right now. They're losing their mind. Twitter's woke, full of SJWs, hard lefties, and general nutcases in general, that do not have any sort of like actual common sense, practicality sense. And so essentially, Adam Silver's going to judge social media reaction, and he's going to make actual decisions involving that. Black Lives Matter painted this big on the fucking court, right? So now we have something that is really interesting by way of NBA player Michael Porter Jr. He plays for the Denver Nuggets. And he said something wildly interesting. He claims the coronavirus is being used for population control and that it is overblown. Boy, that's interesting. And I'll tell you why that's interesting in a moment. We are going to touch on the article and see what he had to say. Denver Nuggets forward Michael Porter Jr. said in a Q&A session on Snapchat that the pandemic is, quote-unquote, being used for population control after a user asked him if the virus was overblown to scare people into being controlled. Quote, personally, I think the coronavirus is used obviously for a bigger agenda. The 22-year-old NBA player said it's being used for population control in terms of being able to control the masses of people. I mean, because the virus, the whole world is being controlled. He continued, you're required to wear a mask. And you know what will happen when the vaccine comes out. You might have to have the vaccine in order to travel. And he goes on to say that would be crazy. They go on to talk about the death toll. And now, here's the thing. And Porter he averaged 7.4 points a game and 4 rebounds for the Nuggets. I'm going to tell you a little secret. Here in Texas, we tend to agree with Mr. Porter Jr. on the coronavirus, the Wuhan virus, the Kung Flu virus, the Chinese virus, because it's from China. We tend to agree with him, okay? The fact is, I've heard this narrative very, very early on here in Texas. Because you see, in Texas, we don't like being told what the hell to do by the government. And right now, we're wearing our mask. We are. Look, Texans have been practicing social distancing ever since this thing really got started. That was never really much of an issue. But what is an issue is the narrative has been, I've heard this several times, is the government trying to figure out how fast they can shut the country down if they need to in the future for any other reason. There's even been speculation among people in Texas, is there something else going on outside of the coronavirus? I've heard this a lot lately. I did a video yesterday Trump kills Texas was trending on woke Twitter. And then there was a narrative, Texas is turning blue. Number one, Texas is not turning blue. I can assure you of that in any of our lifetimes. Now, the thing about it is they were trying to say that Trump forced opening the state on Greg Abbott. And because of that, Texans were going to be out on Trump. Wrong answer. Okay? The fact is, Texans feel like Greg Abbott, you might as well get ready to run for Michigan's governor, not Texas' governor. That's right. We feel like Greg Abbott hasn't opened the state enough. When he decided to reclose bars and they started looking at the churches and all that, all the while we just got through watching 60,000 people get in the street and the governor didn't say shit. We, long since, Republicans, conservatives in Texas, have opted on the side of Trump, not Greg Abbott. And we see the masks thing as the government reaching in to our personal bubble. And as Americans, get the fuck out of our bubble, period. Do not touch our guns. Get the fuck out of our bubble. Okay? Excuse the language on this channel. Shit, we just got monetized. So, anyway, get out of our bubble. And it's so odd that this NBA player, Michael Porter Jr., has come out and made this statement like this. It is about seeing how much control can be had. The Democrats would love to have a lot of control over this virus. If it was up to them, the entire country would be shut down right now. Shut down and keep rolling them stimulus checks in. Because the most socialist thing ever is sitting on our ass collecting a check. I understand this is a sports channel, but it relates right back to what he's saying. Ridiculous. That's a brave thing to say from an NBA player, in my opinion. I don't know his other political stances, but for him to recognize that it feels like there's an agenda, and I still think it is so odd that the Wuhan virus, the Kung Flu, the Chinese virus, we call it Chinese because it's from China, the coronavirus, the COVID-19, dropped out of China conveniently in an election year against Trump. Doesn't that feel funny? It feels funny to me. So, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Our channel just got monetized. We hit 1,000 subs. We appreciate it. We, on this channel, myself, Rhodes Rants, I've got a personal channel. Subscribe. John Matrix, he's got a personal channel. Subscribe. We cover politics on our channels. And on Black and White Sports, we don't appreciate political narratives in our sports. We are very much akin to Outkick, Clay Travis, and Jason Whitlock. So if you like them, odds are you're going to like us. Peace. We're out. Till next time.